Is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the call-in show here on Casually FC. I'm accompanied by the starting panel of the Bridge 258, Ahmed, who you guys may know. The link down below to his channel. I am your host, Marshalldbdx, and today we're gonna just kind of discuss overall the transfer window so far, how we feel about it, any reservations we may have about it, any optimism we may have about it as well, and go from there, really. And obviously, with every call-in show, you guys already know how this works. Usually the link to the StreamYard for you guys to join in and have your say goes out after 15 or 20 minutes into the conversation, and then you guys can come in, have your say, state your differences, and really trade ideas back and forth with us. This is an opportunity for you guys to really express yourselves from the chat here on the show. And yeah, let's see what perspectives you guys bring to the table, if you have any different ones, or really express how you feel about recent business. But before we do so, as always, guys, be sure to smash the like button. Check out the links in the description below for more content. My band's brand new song, Ahmed, as well, is down there with his channel. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Be sure to hit the bell notification so you're notified whenever we do have a live stream going. And if you watch this in the future, leave a comment. And last but not least, be sure to check out our memberships, because we have 4 different tiers starting at 99p. Memberships are soon going to get a nice big upgrade, so that you guys get more bang out of your buck for joining in as a member. An incentive, some would say, funny enough, going into the topic that we're going to be discussing as well. But yeah, ladies and gents, like I said, we're gonna just shoot from the hip with this one, and really, reflect on what's been happening in the transfer window, and looking at what is going to be happening in the future, what could potentially happen. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. Hopefully you guys will be joining in on a conversation very soon. Big up from South Africa. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, and I'm glad
Chelsea's actually a fraud. You telling me you can't pay 40 million for this brother? This is the second player I've wanted the football club. The second player I've wanted now, and they can't even play 40. Oh, we need to vote in California. No, sorry, we need to vote in Cassidy into the fucking deal. Oh, we need to players. Come on, are we actually broke? We're gonna play 42.3 million for him. What is going on, man? Oh, it's 40. You know how crazy it is, by the way. 40 million. It's 40. Do you know how much 50 million euros is in British pound sterling?
Yeah, it's about 40.
It's 42 million pounds. You can't pay 42 million pounds for him.
Ahmed Incapie is crazy, bro.
I'm gonna. I almost.
The link will go out in about 15 to 20 minutes, ladies and gents. For those of you asking in the chat, so just hold your horses. It'll be out soon. But yeah, Ahmed. I mean, I don't know what's happening with Calafiori right now. I haven't looked into it. I'm sure we're going to talk about it on Sunday on the Casually Chelsea show, because there's been heavy links with Calafiori. I know we're in contention with him between us and Arsenal. However, I do want to start the show by addressing certain misinformation that has been going out there about a rumored salary, not salary cap, but a wage structure that we have out there. Now, I've said this multiple times, right? And it seems like I'm one of the few people that understand how things work the first time they're told. And as far as I'm aware, like, once a narrative is built, I stick with that narrative until something is thrown into, a wrench is thrown into the mechanism, and it throws off that narrative. That's usually how I work. So, and honestly, I don't like to push narratives on here. I'm just saying, in general, the way I run the show and the way, the panel, comes together, we see every link, we see every story, so on and so forth, and we kind of establish a reality from that, right? We're not trying to push narratives. We're not trying to push agendas. None of that bullshit, okay? We're just trying to be honest and give you the truth as best as possible, based on whatever we see out there in the facts, which the facts have been very slim nowadays, to be honest. A lot of reporters, DiMarzio, Fabrizio, Matt Law, a lot of these guys have been like heavily heavy eyes on them because they have been shown in recent time to not be reliable. Matt Law this summer has turned a page and has gone back to being reliable. Fabrizio had some hiccups, which people have called him out on, rightfully so. And DiMarzio went from being reliable to absolute fraud. So it's insane to see what's been going on with the journalism. However, there are still some reliable ones out there. And as far as I'm aware, when it comes to the truth, The Athletic seems to be very consistent with how they run things. So there's been rumors out there about the supposed wage structure, the strict wage policy that apparently we don't want to pay anyone over 150,000 a week in salary, which that's a lot of money. However, people want to complain. This all started with Elise and so on and so forth with a bunch of other players. Oh, we don't want to pay players $300K a week and all this and that. And me and Ahmed, to a certain extent, did go back and forth on this last show, and we did, graze upon the topic of the wages. Right now, for those of you who seem to have a short-term memory, which is a lot of people on Chelsea YouTube and Twitter, from the get-go, at least ever since when Stanley and Lawrence Stewart came in, the idea was always going to be to go in towards an incentivized wage structure. Which, Ahmed, you can agree, right? That was the plan from the get-go, incentivized wage structure.
See?
And people forget that. Now, for those of you who do not know what an incentivized wage structure is, and I'm sorry I have to dumb this down in the most idiotic way possible, but some people just do not get it. You have a base salary, right? And in an incentivized wage structure, you can earn more than your base salary based on whatever metrics you adhere to or reach. So if you do reach these metrics, you get a bonus. That bonus is added onto your salary, or it's just a one-time bonus that is added onto the accumulation of what your salary is going to be in a year. Okay? That being said, examples of something like that being triggered, Cole Palmer. We saw this season, Cole Palmer absolutely blew up the Premier League, blew up Chelsea, and as a result of his consistent ability, and as a result of him performing so highly, he has now up for a brand new contract. He's going to get a brand new contract. That's the rumor. I don't know if it's happened or not yet. I don't think it's happened yet. But supposedly they're going to write him up a new contract, something with better wages and so on and so forth. So you got to earn your wages at Chelsea. Now, to back up my point, I have a tweet here for you guys, which I forgot to bring up last show, and Ahmed was so great as to remind me that this did come out, and I did want to discuss this, which is this. There's no strict wage policy in place at Chelsea. Cases will be judged on an individual basis. It is not as if they have ruled out the possibility of ever offering a player the kind of salary Bayern did to Elise ever again. But the numbers achieved would have to justify it more than what Elise or Williams have managed in their careers. And as far as I'm aware, I do agree with this. Now, the thing I think that is holding us back from actually being more flexible with the offering a player the kind of salary is the salaries we right now have in the books. You got Lukaku, Sterling, you got Cucurella, who's earning a lot, Chilwell, who's earning a lot, so on and so forth. Malang Sarr earning a good amount. Who else is earning a good chunk at Chelsea? I feel like I'm missing people. Is that all of them? I mean, Reece James is earning a lot, obviously, but you could argue he deserves it, but no, that's a different argument. Chalobah is earning a decent wage, I'm pretty sure, or maybe not. I don't remember. And you got to remember too, guys, a lot of these wages were, given by Todd Bowley at the time that he was the sporting director. And my man, Carney's earning over 100K or something like that a week.
Yeah, Cap is a good one.
Kepa's another one too. So until these wages are freed up, I think that's where you're struggling to make room to give these wages to some of these incoming players that may or may not deserve it, according to your opinion, obviously. So I feel like maybe this will be less of an issue down the line once we get rid of these wages that are currently on our books. But I mean, Ahmed, I don't know if you want to agree, disagree, build up on what I said. I mean, what are your thoughts on all this? And I guess your thoughts about the players we've received so far in, Tosin, in, Dewsbury Hall, in Gui or Goo. Is it Goo? I forgot how to pronounce it. Goo. Yeah. So yeah, Mark Goo also coming in. I mean, is there anything to disagree with? Because I know you have a different perspective.
I think for me personally, bro, the guys you brought in so far, Mark Gu, seems like a good upper coming player. I don't mind him, but does he improve the first team or the bench as of right now? Not really, I would say. Tosin, obviously you got him on a free. Tosin, you got him on obviously on a free. Again, seems like a quality player. It's going to be definitely either a good starter to bench option, maybe, hopefully in the future, right? In the next year, right now for us, and stuff like that. Dewsbury Hall, again, does he raise the value of the team? Meh. But does he raise the value of the total team? I'd say yes. He's not a ceiling raiser, but he's a floor raiser in terms of the quality that we now have available to us in the team. But really, I've been waiting for our actual targets. It's in terms of like the actual positions that need to be solved. And as of right now, that's not happening. Of course, maybe people will say with regards to the striker situation because of maybe they're waiting for Osimhen. I get that. That's not. I'm not just going to discuss that one, right? But the reality is, bro, right now we're really at 3 out of 10 in terms of the transfer window. We're solving issues that don't necessarily need to be solved as of right now, if that makes sense. We need to be solving actual positions there firstly. And again, the Elise one, that's a bit more personal for me. So, as such, I won't go into that one. But like, we can't be when it comes to like a guy like the gentleman I was mentioning, like Calafiori, right? He was obviously my number one option for the club, and it clearly seems that the club was trying to go after him. But obviously it's getting close to Arsenal right now. But
hold on. Did you say Calafiori was your number one option at left back?
Yeah, he can play left back. You didn't know that?
I know that.
Not as in my number one option.
Your number one option.
Yes, it was my number one option, and the club clearly were trying to actually go in for him.
If I ever meet Theo Hernandez, I will let him know the fraud that you are, my friend.
All right, bro.
Because as far as I'm aware, that was your number one option.
And
I'm gonna tell you, he said he was your biggest fan, but then he met Calafiori, and he's
again at the end of the day, he provides flexibility and issues. I think for me, he's not going to necessarily play left back for us. I've said this before. I think he's more so going to play the left side of centre back in a 3. I think more than likely. So, which is probably the more realistic state that's going to happen for us. End of the day, bro. I can't believe we've not been able to. I don't understand this idea of continuously adding players, into the transfer as of right now, currently, because right now you're past the 1st of July. You know what I'm saying to you? These teams now don't necessarily need, don't need to be doing these sort of things where they may have had PSR issues previously, but now they literally, at Chelsea, at Chelsea, right? Now it's the 1st of July, it's the new 3-year period of PSR. They're going to be able to spend whatever they want now. So why are they going to be asking for a player?
See, the thing is, this is where my knowledge of PSR is limited, because it's very confusing for me. It's not very clear or transparent how exactly it works and how each club is affected, what the number for each club needs to be for them to reach in order to comply with it. The issue is the reason I know they've been linked to Cassidy from last month, Joey, but the issue is they've not really been gone after him ever since. They've not gone after him ever since.
you know, you can say it's the flavor of the month, but you know I've watched this guy for a whole year. That's the difference between me and others. I've watched this guy for a whole year. You know what I mean? I've been, if you ask anyone on Casually FC, they know me, bro. I've been scouting heavily, you know, in that Serie A league and department. So they know I've been doing heavy scouting.
Sure, but I never. I mean,
yes.
Hey, I've never.
Listen,
until this Euros, I've never heard you mention Calafiori ever. It was always Teos Hernandez, and now.
But the reason why I used to say Teo Hernandez was it was like because I thought
obviously it wasn't realistic, but
it was realistic. But I always thought if you're going to do the overlapping thing, he would be the best guy for it, and I like him a lot in a way. And from my attacking perspective too. The issue is we're not going for that now, so I'm thinking, okay, who's the next guy that I can bring in that I know from my own scouting that can work. At the end of the day, it's a good day for at least with Arsenal. They got to get a good player. And I'm in credit to them. Obviously, hopefully we can get Incape now, but they, you know, it's just I think for me the issue I'm having more so than anything else. Yeah, even if I remove Calafiori, I remove Olise. Now just look at them. You know, each one by one, and to everyone in the chat, right? You're making these guys your numero uno targets, right? You're making them your numero uno targets. Yeah. So if these guys are you know what I mean. So if these guys are truly number one targets, you should be making sure an active effort to be a bit more faster, a bit more quicker, particularly the level of talent they are too.
So here's the thing, and I don't know if you were on this show when I went on a rant. Yeah, you were. We need a negotiator. We need Denzel Washington. We need an equalizer. You know.
And said we need an equalizer. You know?
I'm just saying. Bro. No, because like let's be honest, right? Like all jokes aside, when it comes to and you hit the nail on the head. When it comes to getting our first pick targets, we suck at it. We have not. I don't outside of like Caicedo and Enzo, I can't think of a single time we've gotten our first choice in a position we really wanted to get our first choice. Like right wing, although it did work out, right, with Cole Palmer, right wing was supposed to be Olise. And it's just, for me, it is frustrating. And it just shows that like, and I don't know where the source is here, right? Like apparently rumor has it that the whole Olise deal with Joe Shields was going well. And he had pretty much agreed. It wasn't until Olise showed up with a meeting with Win Stanley, Lawrence Stewart, Igbali, so on and so forth, and Maresca.
I'm about to tell you that story.
Well, I don't know where the story came from exactly. You may have told me, but like I don't know what the yeah, that's the rumor, right?
Yeah, he got told.
That's the rumor. Yeah. So based on that, it seems that like the deals fall apart when they hit those guys. We need someone like I'm not saying we should sack, and big up to Mustaqim Murad for becoming a member at the casual level. So big up to you, my friend. The thing is, like, I'm at this point where, like, I'm not saying we should get rid of the sporting directors, because as far as I'm aware, when it comes for an eye for talent, they have it. They do have an eye for talent. I cannot deny that for them. They have gotten us some very, very talented players that we've seen last season. Unfortunately, you know, multitude of factors came into effect, which affected that, right? And their performance on the pitch. But the talent is there, and you guys mostly admit that. But when it comes to closing the deal, these guys suck. Absolutely suck. Whether it be we start paying more for players than we should, or we don't get our first choice, which sucks. Like we need to be able to get our first choice, because if you are trying to, especially with this whole head coach situation, right? If you're trying to play a certain type of football, a certain system of football, then the onus of that so heavily relies on your ability to be able to get those players that you think suit that system the best. And you're not doing that. You're falling, short of that when you're going for your second choice, your third choice, or scrambling for another option, like we saw with John Duran and Samuel Omari Dion. Like we're butchering this window in a sense with that. Because like, I'm not gonna say this window's horrible. If I were to give it a rating, I would probably say so far it's kind of been a 4 out of 10. You know, I'm not too far from your rating, but it's
the issue. You know, the issue I have
when it comes to first season, to
take,
be honest, yeah.
The issue is there's never a player that is a must need. There is a position that is a must need, but you know that you as a what's it called, a club, if you're saying this is the player we need, we must need him, you can all, this is the guy that we want, you know, this is the profile that is going to be fitting for us, and this is the guy we're going for, then for me personally, you are saying you must need that player, not me. I'm not saying it, Marshall's not saying it, you guys are saying it actively. That's the issue I have, bro, more so than anything, Joey. Like, it's coming from the club that they say we need this guy, this is the one, you know what I mean? They make him into like, you know, like Harry Potter, he's the chosen one for us, you know what I'm saying to you? That's the best way. Do you get me? Do you get me, Marshall? Like, they're the ones that are actively making it like he's the chosen one. That's what I'm saying. Like, if they weren't saying that to me, and they were like, it's a target, we've got this other guy there too, 1 or 2, 3 more targets, I wouldn't mind, because I'd be like, okay, whichever the 3 we get, let's just bring him in, right? Of course, as a human being, you have a preference, but like, if I know at least you have 3 targets available, and you're not saying I want every.
Ahmed, why are you supposed to know that? Why are you supposed to know that?
I'm not supposed to know, but Joey,
we're so entitled as these fans.
He
wants to know. He wants to be in the back room where the board is, where all the names are, knowing where all the names are, so he could be on this stream saying, "Hey, this is our number 1 target." But you don't know what our number 1 target is.
The issue is, Joey. I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. Yeah.
Sure.
They said I won't even use Calafiori because that one's just been like they've been tracking him, etc., etc. So I'll push that one to the side. Yeah, I'll push that one to the side. But Elise, the way they were speaking about him, that's a totally
different circumstance. You know why we lost Elise.
No. But the way they spoke about him, though, that's the key difference. I'm not talking about why we lost out. I'm talking about the way they spoke about him, right? They were saying they were obsessed with him. They were literally saying all of that.
Yeah, the PR machine was heavy on that one.
So it's, you know what I mean? The PR machine.
So what do you want? What do you want then? I don't understand.
I don't want to hear you.
You want to be serenaded and
no.
You want. Like I don't know what you want.
You know what I want. I said this to you.
Exactly. That's the problem. You don't even know what you want. That's the problem.
I've told you what I want, bro. I don't want to hear if
you want your targets. That's what it is.
No.
See how this all works, Marshall? If it's not what you want as a fan, if it's not what you specifically want as a fan, this is the type of reaction right here. Where are we going? This way. This way. Yeah, see, that's the type of reaction you get.
Listen, no.
That's the type of reaction you get right there.
I have to.
When you're an entitled fan that you say, I want this guy. I want this guy.
If I don't get him, I don't mind. I always support the players first.
I want this guy.
No.
That's Ahmed, bro. That's Ahmed, bro. There's no other player in the world that's played 7 games at left back that we can play at left back. Not like we don't have the number one left back at the Euros right now playing out of his mind. No, that's not happening. No, that's not happening. That is not happening. No, there's no other left-footed center backs that can play left back at a really high level.
Know what you're talking about.
I think for me, the issue. I think the thing.
That's not something that's
all right.
Let
me explain myself quickly. Yeah. At the end of the day, I just want to hear we brought the player. That's it. I really
sure you're gonna spend 50 million out of your 50 million with no type of structure out of your pocket for a player that has had 1 good season.
They did that for Jackson.
50 million?
It's 50 million euros, bro. In pounds,
okay, that's still we spent 30 million euros on Jackson. What are you talking about, bro? It's a totally different thing. That's still and you didn't pay all of it out front. That's what I'm saying.
But they're not playing release clause. But they're not playing. This is not release clause, bro. This is not release
clause. Yes, it is. It's a release clause.
It's not a release clause.
Bro, I'll pull Yo, I could pull up the thing for you, bro.
Because Juve got asked.
I can pull up the thing for you. Yeah, no, they jumped the fucking thing up on Juve.
I am so sure they didn't. I did not hear about any release clause in this contract, bro. I'm quite.
I'll pull it up. I'll pull the contract up. I'll just pull the contract up. I could just pull it up on what's it called?
I didn't know. Fucking Joey worked for Bologna, man. He's got the physical contract. About to print that shit out right now.
Nah. You can pull that shit up on Google, bro. What are you talking about? Just type in any player you want salary, and the contract will come up.
I have no idea about.
I don't care. I don't care, bro. I really don't care. I don't care who we get, but there's to die over this guy the way that Ahmed's dying over this guy, son.
Listen, at the end of the day, listen. At the end of the day,
I was never that invested.
Marshall, hit my thing. You
know
he
doesn't have release clause. You're correct. I don't know what it is.
Is that the one?
No, the other one. I'm always losing. I'm not losing, man. Every time I win, I don't lose. Thank you very much.
I'm telling you, they probably want the money up front, bro. I'm telling you, that's the only reason why I don't think we would go for a 43 up front.
Bro, honestly, no, because I think the thing that Fabrizio was saying again, he was saying that they want to add we want to add a player to the we want to offer players, bro. That's what they were what's it called saying. So again, if you're getting the money, bro, you know what I mean. So again, at the end of the day, bro, I just you know what I'm gonna say, like skipping all of this, like end of the day, we lost him. It is who it is, right?
If it even happens, like
again,
just because someone puts in a bid, like you know how many they did the same shit with Mudryk, and then all of a sudden Mudryk's our player. Like just hang tight, bro. Hang tight until you see it. Here we go. Hang tight.
All right. On top of it, it's not necessarily worth it when you look at the amount of players that are similar to that type of profile. He's not like he's not like a player that you can say, all right, he's for sure gonna be a part. Like he's for sure like going to be amazing in the Premier League. You can't say that. I can't say that either. I can't say that either. Of course, yeah, that's
you cannot say that. So like this whole thing that you're going through with Calafiori, bro. That shit. Let that shit go. Let it happen. Whatever happens with the guy. But bro, we literally could go buy. We could go buy the Ecuadorian version of that guy who actually plays left back every single. Enough. Yeah, you go buy the Ecuadorian version. There's nothing. They do the same kind of things. Literally, they do the same kind of things. And not for nothing, Cucurella need to be spoken about. Like, there's no reason Cucurella should even not be starting right now. Like, even if we got this guy, Cucurella should be starting. And I know you have an agenda, so go. You're not going to say nothing.
No, I didn't dump Cucurella.
Yeah, okay.
Just be worried about his contract. Just be worried about the contract, the amount of money he's making. Just be worried about
but be worried about what? If he's playing well, he's earning his pay. What are we talking about?
I 100% agree with you, Joey. But Ahmed's not wrong when he says that, because the amount of rumors about Cucurella being on that short list.
Bro, there's always going to be rumors when he's on that price tag. No. There's always going to be rumors.
I just don't know. Like it was only until recently where now we're hearing about Ben Chilwell. His future is uncertain by Matt Law, which, hey, I'm all for selling Ben Chilwell. I think the guy is way past his prime now at this point. Unfortunately,
well, he just doesn't fit now. He just doesn't
fit at all, bro. He doesn't fit at all. That's the issue. The thing about Chilwell, I said this before. The moment Maresca came in, remember I told you, Marshall, Chilwell does not fit the team. I knew
you called that for a while now. You called that for a while now.
So I knew Chilwell just did not fit into the team. I just think for me, I'm gonna ask you two this question, it's a question I know a lot of fans will be asking. You know what a lot of these guys are like? They're gonna be saying to you, don't know what we say to you. They're gonna be like, listen, we need UCL. Some of these players, they're not gonna be as attracted to us because of the fact we don't have UCL. Should we be willing to slightly overplay on some of these key players? That's a question I'm gonna ask you guys. You know what I mean? As we're talking.
I mean, it's who you defined as a key player, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, no, I hear you.
That's kind of like like, yeah,
So let's
I
say,
think the answer is yes.
Mhm.
The answer is yes, but I still, from just watching as much football as I have, I don't believe that there's a single player in the world at this current moment that can't be replicated in a similar profile. Like that, like it's just the nature of what it is. Like, you don't want to overpay for these players. That's fine. There's some players that when it's a necessity, right? Like, if you were to tell me you're going to spend 75 million on Diogo Costa, when it's a necessity, and you find the player that you want to actually go and get, yeah, sure, go overpay when it's a necessity. But like, there's certain, like, right now, the only real two necessities that we really have is striker and keeper. Like, let's just be real. Like, those are the only two necessities. Like in my opinion. Like, and especially, like, we have Broya, I'm sure is going to be out. We have Lukaku, I'm sure is going to be out. We're not going to have another striker other than Guy and Jack and Nico. And honestly, like, if it's me, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays Nico out on the left and he has Nkuku start up top, because, like, I can see him trying to having Nkuku be like a Gabriel Jesus almost for us. You know what I'm saying? Someone who can connect play with everybody and connect play with an inside forward that's actually, or a winger in Jackson in this case, or a winger in Palmer or Madueke. That makes sense.
So for me, I'm very much about sticking. Like, I'm willing to, let's say for example, Elise, right? Mm-hmm. If we're doing this whole 150 is the most we go up for, or whatever, there are certain players who I'm willing to be like, okay, let's increase their base pay to 175 or even 200, but then you still have the incentives. Mm-hmm. I think I don't mind making it so that some of these players that I think are worth it can make a good chunk of money if they hit these incentives. I just don't want to go back to trial and error with some of these guys that, all right, cool, they're fantastic in Serie A. Oh, wow, they really killed it in Bundesliga. We pay them a high salary and we pay a large fee, and then they come here and they do fuck all. Or even worse, they come here, do decent, but our fan base being so polarizing are like, yo, this guy isn't good enough to be earning this much a week or whatever. Like, we saw that happen with I mean, not the best example, but it's an example nonetheless. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. People were complaining about how Ruben Loftus-Cheek was stealing a living here at Chelsea, but I wasn't really complaining about his performances. I don't think he was bad. I don't think he was amazing, but I thought he was pretty solid every time he came on. But yet we have people in the fan base saying like, nah, he has to go. He's earning way too much. So like,
yeah, I mean, and now people look back like, oh, why didn't we keep the guy? You know?
Oh, of course. That's always the Chelsea fan base. They're gonna flip flop all the time.
But yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, bro. I don't believe Elise has proven enough, proven to me where he's played enough games, and that's the thing, enough games a season, and produced in the games that when he does play. Like, this was the first year that he actually like really produced decent numbers, and he played like half the games this season. So it's like, and he goes, and year over year for him, it's not like he was fantastic, and he's still a young player, so he still has the opportunity to prove all that wrong. But like, were we supposed to just give him the 250K that he's gonna get at Bayern? Like,
it doesn't seem like, based on what we just read too, it doesn't seem that like the club
but if you can get rid of like
that.
Lukaku, and you can get rid of like Ben Chilwell, and you go get, I don't know, Hincape, and you go get freaking Victor Osimhen, you can still cut the wage bill by like 100 to 200,000 by doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing too. Like, I feel like with this transfer business, right? Like, And I want to come back to this part. Because Ahmed kept mentioning the whole adding players to the deal, adding this and that. Like, I think
because we're broke.
Not even because we're broke. I don't think we're broke. What's good, Jason? Welcome to the stream. I don't think it's that. I think if you look at the market now, some of these prices are so ridiculous that I feel like clubs just need to come up with creative ways to get certain players that are, expensive, quote unquote, and B, also have to comply with these stupid PSR rules that are holding back a lot of clubs, to be honest. And it's not like it's just us doing it. There are like, before we hijacked the Dewsbury Hall deal, Brighton were thinking about doing that with Motor. So like all these other clubs are trying to find creative ways of trying to comply with these PSR rules, financial fair play and stuff, and also try to cut down some of these crazy salaries that are out there. And I think just Chelsea happens to be one of the clubs that saw this happening sooner than everyone else did, and they're just ahead of the game in this one. And I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it now, because now it makes more sense as to like, why are we like stockpiling all this youth? Well, now I see why. You look at Amari Hutchinson. We got the guy in a free, and we just sold him for 25 million pounds. Ian Matson, 37 million pounds, pure profit and all that stuff. It's like there's a bunch of players out there that we can flip. Now it look like Cass, even though I didn't want it, but I wanted to give Cassidy time. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Look at Cassidy now, potentially being thrown in a deal for Calafiore, which maybe it didn't work out, maybe it did. I don't know. Time will tell. We'll get like a whole here we go, depending on where he goes. But like, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not, and I think as frustrating as it may be because we're not getting our targets, I think it's just naturally how the game is going to start going. I think more and more clubs are going to be offering players in exchange for a cut in the transfer fee and so on and so forth. Because when you think about it, we only got Dewsbury Hall for 25 million pounds.
You got him for 13 million pounds, bro.
25 when you take out the fact that we gave him Golding for 5. So when you look at the net spend, it's 25. And although you may not rate him, I know some people in the chat.
I actually rate KDH. I actually rate KDH. So I'm not one of those.
So for the price that we got him for, it's actually really not a bad price. I don't think he's the answer. I don't think he's better than Kunku, so on and so forth.
I'll be real, Marshall. Like the maximum we've done, again, I've said this before, is 45 million euros, right? There's only 3 players I've mentioned before. Post directors that we've done that for. Again, I've said this before. Mudryk, Caicedo, and what's the other one? Enzo, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else you've done in the 30 to 40 million range. That's why for me, when I'm looking at some of the targets that we are starting to miss out on, right? Other than Odise, right? They are in that range. I think for me, the swap deals work best when when the club wants a player. Obviously, with Bologna, allegedly, that was Cassidy, right? But there is going to be times where there's teams are going to need straight cash. And then you just
like that's the thing too. It's like what you don't also understand with that deal though is that it's like a 40% sell-on clause from Basel.
Exactly.
Not even like 50, dude. It's 50.
So like, no matter how you look at it, it's not going to be that much money for them.
Yeah. Who has a 50% sell-on clause?
Calafiore
has a sell-on clause on it. From
Bologna
Basel.
only gets 50% of the fucking.
So no matter how you look at it, it's not really even that much money. So you get a player, it's a better asset than the money that you're getting.
I still think the clubs that are doing a lot of the player swaps are in PSR trouble though, and definitely financial trouble, like Nottingham Forest, Everton, Aston Villa. It's no coincidence.
Wait, but hold on.
But there's always going to be clubs that are going to be in financial trouble, bro.
But hold on,
like, I think it's just a coincidence that we're doing the trading too, and they're doing the trading as well.
Yeah, but also
no other league is doing the trading like on a mass level like the Premier League.
Well, I mean, they just did a big ass swap with Juventus.
Who? Oh yeah, that's with Villa. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, but like even then, like I feel like although you're right for the most part, there are still exceptions, and other clubs are doing it. Like we just saw, Brighton we're gonna get Dewsbury Hall in exchange to giving Leicester City Moder. they don't have financial issues. And if they do, what the fuck is going on there? Because we just paid you over 100 mil for fucking Moises Caicedo, dude.
Yeah, like what are you doing if you have financial
like, what
issues?
the fuck are you doing with having financial issues? Like, that's insane. So, like, I mean, Jason, like, I did want to ask you, like, overall, like, what are your thoughts on, you know, what's going on with the transfer window, the players we've gotten in, the players we missed out on? I mean, let it out, man.
So far, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I feel like
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I feel like Chelsea's
okay,
like
damn,
a big trouble. I'm not gonna lie, a big trouble.
You know, you're being more generous than me and Ahmed, right?
Really? What did you look give it?
I said 4 out of 10. Ahmed said 3 out of 10.
Yeah, that's actually more than I gave it too.
Yeah, 6 out of 10 is being very generous. I'm very curious. Continue your point.
I'll give it like a 3 as well.
That changed so quick. Okay.
Yeah. I think the profile of players we're looking at, the price, the amount of money we're able to spend, it's not a good look for the club at all. I mean, like,
it's just
60 million for Olise when you spent 120 plus million for Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo. That should be like an easy deal to get done, but I don't know. I think it's worrying times at Chelsea as well, because since these new owners came in, I don't think there's anything positive they've added on since the Roman era at all.
I mean, I think
like,
that's
what's 100% concrete positive that they've done?
Sure, if that's what you want to say. But do you understand what Roman left us with?
Yeah, no, 0 debt. We paid off all the debt, and now we're in debt again, I think. That's why we're doing all these swaps.
Well, okay, hold on. There's context to the debt, right?
Yeah, that's just you just saying the debt. We're back in debt is like crazy. They have to put their own money into their club. That's the whole purpose of what it's not necessarily we're putting ourselves back in the debt.
But you understand that
Roman left us. By the way, Roman left us with 2 center backs who are currently top center backs at Spanish clubs. Let them go on freeze. Let them just run away on freeze. They could have signed them 2 years beforehand. Left us with, like you said, 2 million worth of debt and a wage bill that was overinflated.
Not 2 million, 2 billion, wasn't it?
2 billion, yeah.
Yeah.
2 billion.
That's the thing, though. Like, Jason, you understand, though.
It's more of a situation that they had to dig themselves out of than people realize. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Is like, it's like not necessarily like, all right, like first and foremost, if you kept Rudiger, that's our captain for the next 5 years, right? Like 100%. We don't have an issue we don't have as much of an issue at center back, which was an issue for the last 2 years for us. Like, but you keep one of them, you know, and then like I don't want to say that they haven't done anything extremely positive. No, they haven't. Hiring Poch, like, terrible hire. Like, in my personal opinion, but like what they're trying to do, I see what they're trying to do. Okay, like that's the only thing I can say is I can see what they're trying to do.
What are they trying to do then? To explain to me, because I have no clue.
Sure. So you have I'll explain it to you. So when you have a bottom half sized stadium, and we have the spending that you have. That you have currently going on, you have to make up that revenue in different ways, aka why you see this stupid shit happening, right? Like the bed in the stadium, right? You know, stupid shit. You think things that you think are stupid, right? But the stupid shit that you think that they're doing is also they can generate revenue. Okay, so it's like the kids, right? The kids and selling people from our academy. This is something that we've been doing for years, by the way. Roman did it for a long time. This is something that we've been doing for years.
Yep.
But now what they're doing is they're bolstering it up, because what's going to end up happening is that not just Strasbourg's going to be bought, but they'll probably end up buying like a team in Brazil, and they'll probably end up buying a team in Portugal, and like all these talents that you're bringing up, they'll get spread out to all these different teams, and you're starting to see it here a little bit. It's starting very slow, in a very slow fashion right now, just because we only have one team. Now you're buying all these kids, so in the end, you're right. they're trying to kind of flip them. But the best talents that you get stay and survive. If you prove yourself, you stay and you survive. It's battle of the fittest in the end. Mm-hmm. If this is what it like to say that the way that they're trying to do it is wrong, potentially, it's just different. That's the thing.
Definitely,
that's the thing, and it's not necessarily. It's not necessarily that I totally agree with the way that they're trying to proceed to trying to do it. But instead of me sitting here me really complaining about it, I sat and I tried to figure out what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. I'm the same way.
That's because I would rather not complain about it. Like complaining about things is just a waste of my energy. I got only enough energy during the day for me to give out to the world, and I'm not about to.
I got bills to pay. I got no time to be worried about Chelsea.
I got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to drink clear water.
I got enough energy. That's as much energy as I could put towards it. So I'm not gonna I'd rather spend that energy trying to figure out what's going on rather than trying to complain about it all. Now, do I agree with it? I don't know, bro. I probably have to tell you after maybe like this year, like how much I agree with it, right? Like after this window out, even Jason, I honestly, after this window, I can give you a better idea, even more of a better idea on how much where their mindset is with the type of signings that they're trying to make. Like, and I think Ahmed makes a good point on like the size of signings, but they always end up with a marquee signing. That's the thing that I'm gonna like. If you've noticed, every summer window they'll end up with a marquee signing.
Who was a marquee signing last summer?
Caicedo and Lavia.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair.
Yeah, I think here's the thing though, like, and Joe kind of hit the nail on the head when he said like even this at the end of this window, he wouldn't even be able to tell you what the idea is. Because one thing I've been picking up on this project is the longer it goes, the more it makes sense. Last summer, we were saying, like, what is the point of getting all these youngsters and all this stuff? And now we're seeing it like, okay, so right now, this transfer, and even having these discussions to start to kind of figure out and start to, close more loops, right? Stock up on the players now, because one, as of right now, we're using them as fodder for trades to not spend as much, comply with PSR and all that stuff, right? Then when we have another club, they're just going to go to that club too. But we already have the player. So we have another place where we can invest in the team and have our players develop so that we can flip them eventually for profit as well. Or if they're good enough, they come to the first team, which I hope is the case. I know right now it doesn't seem like Cassidy right now. Looks like he's been
the best way I like to describe it is this, Jason. The best way I like to describe it is this. We were just linked with Isak, right? Just a bit ago, right? We all saw that link, and there was a reason that link happened, right? Because Newcastle had their own PSR issues that they needed to take care of.
Yeah.
Eventually, bro. That situation's gonna happen, and this team, the way that our club is set up, we are gonna be best placed to be able to take advantage of that type of situation happening.
Yeah. We're exploiting pretty much the whole thing.
I was really hoping that the Isak deal ended up going through, just because it would literally be like proof of concept of like what they're entirely trying to like
recreate. One more marquee signing and you're sold.
No, that's not my point, right, Jason? That's not my point. My point is if they get Isak and they're doing it with these types of swap deals, right, and they're doing it with all these and they get it based off of an opportunity. Because Newcastle didn't want to sell Isak. Isak's not for sale. I didn't believe Isak was for sale until just 5 days ago, 6 days ago, when that news came out. So like it shows that the concept works. That's my point, right?
Yeah.
Wait, give me 1 second. Okay. And it's not even necessarily like buying into this whole project, whatever the fuck.
You don't have to believe in it. I don't believe in it.
You don't have to. Obviously, like, not everyone is going to be on board with how things are being done. I just want it to work. As a Chelsea fan, I want my club to succeed. I never want to be right about, it's failing. Like, if I start coming out here saying fuck this model and all this shit and being negative about it, and I start flexing every time that I'm right about something that the club was wrong about, I feel like that's counterproductive to actually being a Chelsea fan. Like, as a Chelsea fan, you want to be critical about the club and how things are being run. Like, I'm critical about how negotiations have been going, right? But at the same time, like, I want what's best for the club. So that's why I come out here and suggest, like, when Stanley, Lawrence Stewart, you guys aren't the guys to be negotiating these deals, but you should get the talent and get someone who can negotiate the deals so we do get these players through the line, right? So, like, I come here trying to offer solutions and trying to offer ideas, right? And also at the same time trying to understand what the project's about. So you then say, like, you came in and you asked, like, what are some of the positives about the club since they joined? The thing is, like, it's still to be seen, but I feel like there are some positives. You can at least look at it in a positive way. For one, I personally like how we're structuring the wages. That's just me. Like, I like that we're not going towards taking the risk on overpaying for players and being fucked over by FFP and PSR. You know, I do like that. That is a change that under Roman I wanted to happen. And when Roman first came in, I believe that was something that was established as well, an incentivized wage structure. So we're only going back to those times. And that's how a lot of players used to get paid early, like, or towards the end of the Barclays Premier League. Yeah, exactly. So that I'm okay with. I think that's a positive. I think the other positive is that we now have a structure, and we needed a structure because, dude, we weren't doing any scouting towards the end of the Marina and Roman era. Like, what the fuck is scouting about Romelu Lukaku, Harry Kane, Erling Haaland? Those are our striker options. There's no scouting about that. You're just going for the hottest targets.
Is it any more scouting buying Estavio like than to call the next Messi or next Neymar? Is it not the same? It's not the same kill.
But that's more scouting than going for, I don't know, Kylian Mbappe, who everyone's going for.
I mean, Twitter knows who Estavio is.
You're muted, Ahmed.
But if I may like quickly
go for it.
I mean, actually, I feel like I could give a better, slightly better. I think the issue was, Jason, the way we were scouting players. I think, initially more so than anything else was, we were targeting the best players available and not looking at how do they actually fit into the league and if they are good enough. Now, again, I think your point of Esteval, I think the difference I would say of Esteval is they've actually scouted. They've actually been doing a lot of scouting the player. There's been a lot of clubs that have been after Esteval, for example, even Paez, right, where they've watched a lot of games with him, they've seen the way he plays, they understand it, and they're attracted by it. That's the only difference, I would say. I think our issue previously, under previous ownership, was when we were going for those elite players, we were not scouting correctly, in the sense that we were not going after the right elite player who can fit into the team and do the job. That was the issue. That was the issue for me, more so than anything else. But I do agree with you in the sense that, yes, not all top elite players are gonna solve the squad, right? Right. It's the same for these young guys too. You know, not every young guy is gonna be hooping for us.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, so it is what it is.
That's why guys like Chukwuemeka are getting sold 100%.
Well, I think Chukwuemeka is another different type of context there. Like the fact that he got put on 100K a week, like mad early. Like I think
and it was a Bowley error too.
Yeah, that's a Bowley. Yeah, it's 100% Bowley. The thing is though, like the release clause on that. Yeah, that's totally like a Bowley being fucking just played like a flute. Like now that, like, when you think about it in hindsight, bro,
100K a week for 18.
Hella insane amounts of agents and these guys really did take advantage of Todd Bowley. Like,
yeah, that first transfer window, that for sure.
That's so
like
fucked.
2 years.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't blame him. Like, fucking, these guys are fucking desperate to try to make money, and Bowley was just dishing it out, like, you know. But it's just, for me, I don't know. Like, I can't.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. At least now we have a bit of a structure, and we can kind of see where like some of these players are coming from, outside of like these really young players that are either like getting sent to Strasbourg or getting sent on loan. Like, I think Kellyman will get sent on loan. Or maybe he'll stay and just do conference league minutes. Like,
Kellyman is Chukwuemeka 2.0, in my opinion.
Except you don't have him on. Except you don't have him on 100K a week.
Yeah, it'll be easy to move.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, right? Like if you look at the Chukwuemeka deal in the end, it's not like as bad as it seems. Like they get 40 million for a guy this summer. If they get 40 million for a guy that's barely played,
they won't get 40 million. That's the thing.
But that's the
release to us. If we sell them, they have to pay the release.
We're not going to sell them otherwise.
Get 40 mil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know we won't get 40 mil, bro. But I'm saying like,
okay, but I got
that. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I was going to ask, with the amount of young players we're buying, do you think the environment to put these young players in the first team is correct? Because can you imagine like a 15-year-old or 18-year-old or 18-year-old Paez or Esteval coming to our team? We're trying to compete for top 4 or even the Premier League at that time. That's not the right environment for an 18-year-old to be in, especially when they've been hyped to the extent that we've hyped them to. I've seen like their Twitter accounts from the FA Cup and the Premier League promote these players.
You know what the issue is that, bro? The issue of what you're saying is that that's not the fault of the club, bro. That's just the fault of the media. That's just like what they do. Like, anytime they see an up and coming wonderful player, that's what they're more than likely going to do at the end of the day.
We got
that's not something. And that's not something. That's not something you can actually control, bro. That's one thing I will kind of slightly disagree with you on, bro. That's not something
because
control.
here's the thing, right? More Paez in this sense than Esteval. Paez is getting the shine out in Ecuador right now. Like people are starting to see, Chelsea bought this kid last summer or something like that, and he's starting 10 for Ecuador, wearing the 10 at Ecuador, taking their penalties.
At 17?
Like, at 17, like now it's being magnified, right? Where, like, Esteval, just the other day, Neymar's like, yeah, the best talent we have is this kid. I didn't expect him to say that shit. But as soon as Neymar says that shit, everybody puts the magnifying glass on the dude.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like part and parcel of it. Now, now, do I think do they have the runway to be able to get into this team? I guess that depends on like who else we go and get this summer. Like who else we are we gonna go get a winger, another winger? Is Nani Madueke gonna kick on from the season that he had last year?
Even if he does kick on, that guy's gone. He's gone.
Regardless, bro, like, I mean, like that's just what it comes down to in the end. Like, that's just what it comes down to. Like, I don't know how to describe it other than like these kids are being hyped up from other places and just being a part of our team. It's not necessarily us doing it.
Big up, everyone. Big up, Joey.
Yo, real quick, most of Kim, my guy, I know you've been waiting patiently. I muted your mic because you had a lot of background noise going on. I'm just muting it now. But what are you saying, man? What's up? Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good, bro.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about myself a little bit. I'm not a Chelsea fan from long time ago. So one of my uncle actually works in Chelsea after a tier league takeover. Since then, I'm following Chelsea, to be honest. Yeah, I used to be. I'm Argentina fan, so I like Messi a lot. And then after when he got into the Chelsea. So after that, I'm following Chelsea, and then I'm kind of like it. So I see a lot of misconception about Chelsea, especially in YouTube and Twitter and stuff. But I get to meet him this weekend, right? And I get to clear out a lot of misconception about what most of the fan base has about Chelsea. So, suppose if you are talking about Olise, right? So they had a contingency plan. They had Estabo and Olise. They rated Estabo higher than Olise in terms of potential and how much they'll get return in the future, right? So their first target was actually the Estabo, but I heard that there was 2 or 3 clubs that were very interested, but when they was able to get his signature, then pull out the deal from the Olise. So if you actually see it, the day they pull out the Olise deal, the same day they said that Estabo signed the deal. So that makes sense. You understand what I mean?
Oh, okay. So you're saying that Esteval was truly the #1 target, and if Esteval didn't work out, they were going to fall back on Elise.
Yes, that was
You're saying
their target.
Esteval was the #1 target.
Yep.
That's an interesting perspective. I actually never thought about that, to be honest, because it did happen relatively around the same time when the whole deal collapsed, and that was one of the complaints about Elise, that they were focusing on these
people
other
were
players.
saying like weird timing, right? Like, oh, weird timing.
Yeah.
That's the foul across the line, like. So I guess that kind of could make sense.
Ahmed, is this your insider, bro? Is this the one, your source that you were talking about, dog? Ahmed said he had a source, bro.
I'm at the ITK. He's in the know.
Listen. I listen. My source is the ITK. I'm not an ITK myself. Sadly. You know what I mean? If I knew who the club's targets were, believe me, you would know. But at the end of the day, bro.
It does sound believable, though. Honestly, like that does sound.
And also another thing. So before the Chelsea, they was trying to get the player with as much as money they wanted, right? So now it's totally different. They have to, from what he said, for each position they have like 3 to 4 player. So they, for each player they have a budget. So suppose if you are Olise, they are gonna give you a highest range of salary, probably 160K to like 170, 160, suppose highest, right? But if it goes above that, they are not going to push for you. They are going to go down the list, and then whoever the second list, even if he is a lower category, he also has a budget. It could be like 80K, 100K, but they are not going to go over that range unless he is a really special player that will benefit him through the image right. Like there is some player like Enzo, right? If you sign him, you get a lot of image rights from Argentina, and like because those image rights happen because he was the player of the younger player of the World Cup, right? So that's why they push for him, because he has an image in the internationally, and also in all over the world, right? But Olise still doesn't have that image, so for that they will not pay for him. So does Esteban. So if they see that you're gonna have an image internationally, then they are willing to pay a little bit higher than the market price.
That makes sense too.
That's also really valid. I actually never thought about that, to be honest.
That makes sense. That makes a hell of a lot of freaking sense.
Yeah, big up, bro. Like, these are perspectives I actually never thought about, because when you think about it too, like Enzo's kind of been the poster boy for Chelsea ever since he's joined. There's at least one of them.
Not only that, he's like the new poster boy for Argentina.
Oh yeah. Once Messi, subsides, it's probably going to be Enzo. And yeah, that's actually a really good point. Moises Caicedo for Ecuador too, considered their best player, and he's got imaging rights, I'm sure. Cole Palmer, now that he's been kicking off for England, I'm sure.
The Nkape crew, we're here. He's starter in Ecuador. We're here. Yeah, go away, Ahmed. Go away, Ahmed. I know what you're doing. Go away.
And also another thing, I asked him that, are you guys trying to become a seller club like a lot of Chelsea fans thought that if Chelsea is going to become a seller club, they're going to sell the players and then make the money. He said no, that's not how it works, because Clear Lake bought the company, right? It's like this Chelsea is going to work like a stock, right? If you buy a stock, right, or suppose a Tesla, right? If they keep going down and down, later on when you are trying to sell the Tesla company to another company, right? They are not going to pay you as much as when you bought it, because it keeps going down. You understand? So for their own benefit, they have to make sure that Chelsea actually thrives, like they become one of the best club, so that they can flip on it on a profit, because if Chelsea doesn't make like Champions League football for like 3-4 years, they will become irrelevant. They are more more aware of it than what Chelsea fans are trying to say or other fans are trying to say. It's basically like for themselves to make, for them to make money, they have to go up. Because all of these players, they can never, for like what he said, that the flipping player only works for a small club. It will never work for a big club. Chelsea is a big club. It will never work for the big club.
Just big up to my guy Murad for making his comments. Jonathan, I am the greatest anti-aura merchant that you will ever know. I complain about aura in this football club. You know what I mean?
Guy.
How dare you talk about me being hooked by aura? Do you know that Mr. Anti-Aura himself is standing here? You know what I mean? You can, Marshall, how many times on this stream have I complained about people talking about flipping aura every single time, bro? I have been the biggest advocate of anti-aura.
He hates aura. As soon as I bring up aura, he kind of just fucking loses it.
I actually lose it when people got aura, by the way.
He actually hates it.
Honestly, what Murad's saying, everything that Murad's saying,
it makes a lot of sense.
It makes so much sense. Like,
yeah, it really
does.
I
can get behind. I can understand even more signing these young players, because if they blow up on the international scene for some reason, and we already have them on our squad or in our books, it just becomes like we either can keep them or you end up getting like a big fee for them.
You know what? When you think about it too, like from the marketing point of view, like looking at players like Esteval, looking at players that like Kendry Paez. And I know Bowley mentioned in their interview about making the brand more international and really reaching out to the international fans. Like, look at how Endrick is being received at Brazil right now. Every time this guy comes on the pitch, the Brazilian fans start to lose it. You don't think that now those Brazilian fans that love Endrick are going to buy that Endrick jersey when it drops to Real Madrid? Same thing's going to go for Paez. All those Ecuadorian fans that love Paez are going to follow Paez to Chelsea. They're going to buy those kits.
What happened. That's what happened at Caicedo. With Caicedo, with Pulisic. No, I mean, you're not wrong. No, but you're not wrong with the Pulisic.
Too soon to bring up America. Yeah.
But you're not wrong, because that signing created Chelsea fans to buy, like US fans to buy Chelsea Pulisic jerseys.
Yeah, no, it's a perspective I didn't think about. But like on to the last thing that he said, like that's what I've been saying from the get-go. Like that's what I've been saying from the get-go about it doesn't make sense for these owners to actually ruin this club per se, like a lot of people like to criticize. It's not in their best interest. There's multiple investors involved in this that want this club to make the most amount of money. And the best way that you make the most amount of money is by being a successful club. And that's why I said earlier too, like it's actually hurting us a lot that we're not in Champions League. We should be in Champions League, because that extra bit of money could be the reason why we're not spending the bigger amount of money. Obviously, the Osimhen deal, I think, would have still been off regardless.
See that deal specifically, in my opinion, because Victor is a king in freaking Nigeria. He's a king there, bro.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, we got Prime going.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's an NBA champion, can go to Nigeria and barely anybody knows who the fuck that guy is. He goes to Victor Osimhen walks out of a fucking car in Nigeria and he's getting his ass swamped. Like it's like a totally different ball game. So like that's why that's why for me that deal specifically, in my opinion, still has legs, because his international value in especially his country, it's not even, it's unparalleled. Like specifically that guy. Like that guy is treated like a king, the way that that Drogba was treated at Ivory Coast. Like just like he's the star boy, as they say. I don't like using that word, but yeah, he's the guy. He's the face.
Can I just ask, why is Fatur here? Like, why are you here?
Yeah, I knew it was Fatur. Immediately as soon as I saw it was Fatur.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I just like to let Fatur in just
Why are you hating? This is a calling show. You know that, right, Ahmed?
Yes, it is a
We shouldn't be
calling show.
accepting you, mate. We shouldn't be accepting you, man. That's the real name.
I just wanted to see what the rest of the name was.
This, you know what's the title called in this stream? Chelsea's transfer strategy and MARESCA'S system, the call-in show. So anybody can call in, right, Ahmed?
Got you there. You got you.
I don't
there,
believe
bro.
so, man. I don't believe so, man. I don't believe so, man.
To get you
Anybody can
there.
call in, Ahmed.
But like, yeah, I like going back to what we were talking about, right? This club needs to succeed. This investment needs to go up and not down, because that's what's in the best interest of Boli, Egbali, Feliciano, Clear Lake. They need this club to make money and be better off when they leave than how they found it. So I think it's they need it to succeed. So they're going to do everything they can to make it succeed. So, and you know, going back to what Jason said earlier, and I did want to mention this. I didn't get a chance to say it to him, but big up Jason. He had to go. One of the other positives that I want to say about this project so far is that we're actually giving managers time, although maybe not the right managers, and it's backfired on us quite a bit. I think when we do get the right manager and we do give him time and he does become a very successful project, then I'll be happy with that. And it won't be like how Roman era was, where we cut it off before it could actually potentially go somewhere. But Vojta, my friend, welcome to the show. I haven't heard from you. What did you want to add on to this conversation? What are your thoughts on everything you heard so far?
I mean, realistically, I understand with these owners about, like, you know, how they're moving. I don't have a problem with them.
Mm-hmm.
As in, like, what they're doing, like, financially, they are good at handling stuff. Like, they can sell players. Like, it's obviously horrible that we're not in the Champions League. It's gotten, because if we're going to be in the Conference League, and we don't win it, then there has to be big discussions. I'm not saying, oh, we're not going to win it. I'm confident we're going to win it, but if we don't, there has to be conversations. But
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, there has to be conversations, because, like, you have a good squad and then you go in there and not win it, but then, like, and also with this Chukwuemeka thing, I would personally not want him to go, in my opinion, because I think he's a quality player and I think he can still prove himself in the conference, in, like, the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. I'd rather Gallagher to be sold than Chukwuemeka.
I don't disagree with that. But also,
because why would you sell, like say a few youngsters who are improving, and then sell a person that's been there for long and not improving?
How do I answer this question? The thing is, though, it's hard to answer this question without going into next season. That's my problem with it.
Yeah.
Because for me, like,
it's a sensitive topic, isn't it? Though it's a sensitive topic at the end of the day.
But didn't we improve it?
To a certain extent.
Didn't we improve on Gallagher? Shrewsbury Hall's been improved, as Ahmed would say. Final.
Do you honestly think Gallagher would leave, though? Let's say by the next.
Wait, but are you referring to, like, improving on the position, or the player himself has improved? That's what, because I was under the impression you're talking about Gallagher has improved as a player.
Yeah.
Who, me or
Vojta.
Yeah, as in,
that's
like,
you say your name. I'm
in the position.
Yeah. In a position. Oh, then in that case, yeah, we did improve on Gallagher, because we got KDH.
Same
Yeah.
age, better.
Yeah,
So,
but KDH is 100% going to start over Gallagher.
As he should.
The crazy thing is that Chelsea won't sell Gallagher unless we lower the value down.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea won't sell Gallagher until Gallagher agrees to be sold.
You've seen that.
I mean, Gallagher wants 150k.
Wait, hold on a second. Apparently, Fabrizio said on Playback 6 hours ago that Atletico, like, they were the club that interested in him, but apparently he's too expensive.
Bro, but you saw how much they offered?
Yeah.
Yeah, they offered 16 million in their first bid 2 weeks ago.
That's crazy, bro. They were
60
offering
million.
fucking chump
16
change.
million
At least
pounds.
30, 35,
I can
bro.
scrounge up 16 million, bro.
16.
And I don't have 60. I don't even have a million. I'll just figure out a way to do it, bro.
You know
I
what,
agree.
Gallagher? Just go to Tottenham and we'll be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with Fats, but like we did that with Mount, right? Like we had a higher price initially for Mount at 70 million, and then we eventually sold him to Man United for 50 plus 5 add-on.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
don't be surprised if he goes to Tottenham because I was the first one that called
Yeah,
it.
I'm fine with that. I don't care.
That wouldn't surprise me with the banner as well.
I just think the thing with Gallagher, though, it's gonna be super. The ball's in his court. Like at the end of the day, like
Just
you
give him
can't-
conference games.
But at the end, maybe. But like at the end of the day, it's. And I love how this kid said that. Well, he didn't say it, but rumor has it that he wanted to show at the Euros. Even he wanted to at the Euros. He wanted to give Chelsea even more of a reason to keep him, but that's backfired completely because he's been. The whole team has been horrible at the Euros for England, but that's besides the point. That's a whole different conversation.
Except from Cole Palmer.
I think at the end of the day, though, the onus falls on whether or not Gallagher wants to move. Like. People say like, oh, just sell the player, just sell the player. You understand there's 3 parties involved: Chelsea, the team that wants to buy, and the player himself. So all 3 parties need to be in agreement in order for the sale to go through. And people seem to forget it's not as easy as just like, it's not like you're on, Ultimate Team and you can just quick sell. Like, it's not how it works. So like you need to like actually negotiate these things, and the players all need to be in agreement. And I don't like, this is the thing. People want to deny this, and I'm not going to deny it. I truly feel, unlike Mason Mount, I truly feel that Gallagher genuinely is a Chelsea fan and genuinely wants to do everything in his power to stay at this club. This is the club he wants to play for. This is his dream club. And so he's going to run the contract down until he's a free agent. So it might actually make the board buckle and say, fuck it. We don't want this player to go on a free. Give him a fucking contract. Might not be the ideal contract for Gallagher, but it might be something that both parties can agree with. Because as far as I can tell right now, it doesn't seem that they've actually put out a deal for them, or at least a deal for him that he would actually agree to. Maybe they may have been one offer, and that offer he turned down.
So here's a question: how much would you give him weekly if he wants to up his wages? Because I've been hearing 150k a week.
I'm willing to give him 100 base or 120 base, and he can, go from incentives from there. Yeah. I think that's fair for Gallagher.
But 150 is too much. What he's asking.
I mean, It's neither here
the
or
issue
nor
is.
there
I
for
think
me.
the issue is. I think the issue is. Yeah, and I'll put it like this: Gallagher. Yeah, if you look at the way he
Big up
fits
for
into the
Pete.
team, if you look at the way he fits in the team, right? Obviously, the manager, it's not gonna work. And then B, he's gonna be a bench option for you, right? So the reality is, are you willing to give a guy like Gallagher 150k a week to hold bench? I don't know, come on for 30 minutes to do maybe 20 to or like 30 minutes to do a job for you. Like, that's the first question you got to ask yourself. Secondly, the other thing is he going to be starting for me? No. So like, again, that's where, what's it called? You have to start weighing it up if you're the football club. You can have better options, in my opinion, than Gallagher that are already available for you to play, and they can fit in the system and do a job for you. And I think the issue is, I think with Gallagher's got the club, I think, in a good spot right now, in the sense that they want to make money off of him. So essentially, they will have to give him a new contract.
Yeah, and I think that's
probably
what I mean.
it probably won't be. It probably won't be for the wages that he's asking for. But I think what's gonna happen is, similarly to Ian Matson, it will be like for a two-year increase, and what's it called? A release clause inside of the contract, such that any club that activates it, he has to directly negotiate with.
But that's the thing too. Like, I don't, unlike Mason Mount, I don't feel like Conor Gallagher is going to the negotiation room with fucking chest held high. He's like, yo, Bali, give me 300k a week, dog. Like, I don't think he's doing that. I genuinely think he just wants to get paid a little more than what he's currently getting paid. So maybe more than 100k or more. And the club maybe just want to sell him on because he's pure profit. Like, I'll admit, the club probably want to sell him on because he's pure profit. But at the same token, we're hearing rumors that apparently they're open to negotiating with him as well. And I think they're only open to negotiating with him because they understand that this guy is probably going to run down his contract. So we might as well sign some type of a contract with him so that we could potentially sell him in the future and add a release clause to it or some shit.
But I don't think we'll do a long-term contract. I think it'll be a short one.
It'll be a 2-year extension. It'll be literally a 2-year extension.
Like Mattson, you think?
It could be like a 3-4 year extension.
No, it'll be 2 years only. It'll be literally, they'll include this year plus 2 plus a release clause such that they can get him out of the way at ASAP. Literally.
Yeah. But then again, even with the release clause, it falls on him if he wants to leave or not.
Again, but then the reason why I'm saying that, what will happen is once he signs the new deal with the release clause, they'll just completely freeze him out. And then he'll be essentially be forced to move. That's literally what they're going to do. They've done this, they've done it before, and it's literally the same trend. It's like almost cash money.
I need to see what happens with Maresca's plan, because this leads us now to the Maresca plan, right? Because that's the other aspect of this whole thing. Like, I want to see. I don't know about you guys, but for whatever reason, Maresca doesn't necessarily strike me as a guy that's just gonna listen to everything he's told.
He can't do worse than Poch. Yeah, he can't do worse.
I'm not even talking about his performance. I'm just talking in the sense of like his personality. Yeah. I feel like he wants to play a certain style of football.
The way he feels.
And he wants to be tactical in every game that he goes into, right? And maybe 4P, maybe you might know more about this because he was a City boy for, the time you won the treble, right? But like, to me, he doesn't strike me as someone that's just gonna like comply with what's being told him. He'll be reasonable, right? But he, at the end of the day, like, if he thinks he needs a player like Gallagher in that lineup, he'll fucking play him. But the way he wants to play consistently overall maybe doesn't require a player like Gallagher. He just doesn't strike me as, and again, time will tell, obviously, I'm speculating, but he doesn't strike me as the type of person that will just toe the line because, oh, you want to sell this player, you don't want me to play him? Yeah, he's one of my best players, or he could potentially fit really well in this next game I have against Man City, or the first game, I should say, that we have against Man City. I mean, 4P, what are your thoughts on just everything we're talking about, or even Enzo Maresca, bro?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Enzo Maresca does play a similar style compared to Pep Guardiola. Like, if you've seen Pep Guardiola, the way he... Sorry about that.
You're fine, bro.
Yeah. If you've seen Pep Guardiola, the way he plays, like a 4-3-2-1, like one striker, three midfielders, like four at the back, then three midfielders, then two, I would say one CM and one attacking mid, and one striker.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Enzo Maresca is going to play a identical system the way Pep's playing. So I would say I would say Enzo Maresca is going to definitely play his Leicester tactics against us. The tactics that he used at Leicester City to win the championship and got promotion. So I'm certain he's going to do that because he knows what he's doing. I can bet on that.
I mean, that does give me some confidence.
He's not he's not Poch right now, that he's just set in his own ways and, generally being a double agent to Spurs or whatever. I mean, like, that guy's crap. I don't rate that guy ever. Seriously, he's a criminal.
Fair enough. I mean, you're not wrong either. What do you think about Chelsea's transfer window so far? Do you think it even suits Enzo?
I mean, Enzo is known to develop these youngsters, and I have full faith and confidence that he will do it because he's been under Pep's wing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been on the 10th string, so he'll do it. He'll definitely do it. He'll definitely do it.
Yeah, and also that's the other thing too. I needed to address too. This whole, we're buying. We at first we say we want a coach that, when we sack Poch, there was the news that we want a coach that is just going to coach the players and not necessarily have a say in the window. And then all of a sudden we get KDH and people are touting from the rooftops like, oh, now we're getting players for Enzo and stuff. And what's the deal? Like, why didn't we do that for Poch? And so why are this club doesn't know what they're doing? I'm like, listen, people, like, it's so ridiculous. The agendas out there is so ridiculous. It's
my Arsenal fans in general. These guys are
Chelsea
bro. I'll
fans
tell you
too.
what, with Arsenal, these guys have not made a single big transfer ever, bro. Never. It's all just links. So I bet the same players are gonna play next season. Just watch. They're gonna have a turbulent season.
Oh, I bet.
They're gonna bottom the league.
Can I just say about Enzo Maresca? The only reason he wouldn't pick him, like the midfielder, to sign for Chelsea if he was really good and like what he used him in the position. If you didn't think he was really good, he wouldn't he wouldn't get involved in the transfer when we were pushing for him.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like, that's what I mean, right? Like, the idea that Enzo was the one that asked for Kieran Dewsbury Hall and all this and that. Like, this was like, we went and got him for the manager. That's not necessarily true. Like, Ahmed, am I making this up? Weren't we linked with Dewsbury Hall last summer as well? Like, wasn't there a small link? It dwindled away, but we were, right?
The club, again, the thing about the club is that they've been scouting so many players that
hard to keep track of all of them,
and like, I think the other issue is we're too leaky in it. We're like the leaky culture.
We are way too leaky.
Where everyone knows you were literally scouting. So
my question is, my worry is Enzo Maresca gonna play two strikers or is he gonna just start Jackson the entire season?
I think he's just gonna do whatever suits the game that's in front of him.
What did he just say?
Is he gonna play with two strikers or is he gonna stick with Jackson the whole season?
He's never played with two strikers ever. He's never played it.
Do you think he'll rotate where he will just swap it around with the strikers?
I think we have to wait and see essentially until we get whoever's gonna come is gonna come. If that makes sense, right?
I feel like we'll just sign another striker, in my opinion.
I think for me, I feel like it's gonna be either Osimhen, and if Osimhen doesn't come, it's gonna be Nkunku false 9 to start, and then he'll probably adjust whoever that's gonna be.
Nkunku as a false 9, I'm kind of worried. Do you know why?
Why would that be?
Because we don't know. He could not play there for the whole season, depending on if he gets injured again and how long the injury could be.
Again, I feel like with last season, again, the injuries that he got, the first one obviously on
asterisk,
he was
on that one.
The first one, the first season obviously wasn't that great, and I feel like again, if hopefully removing the Poch factor in regards to how they were recuperating, coming back as well, right? So again, as long as he's able to play for me a good 30 to 25 to 30 games a season, right? And then Jackson can play the rest of them for us. Again, so I don't really see that as much of an issue. And plus, Nkunku's played in the line quite a few times. So for me, that's not necessarily an issue at all. At the end of the day.
I agree with Ahmed on one thing. Finally, he literally said one thing that I agree with. Finally, dude.
Bruh.
What's Vic saying here? Enzo Maresca plans to try and Nkunku in a variety of positions in preseason. Chelsea have a fit, and firing Nkunku last season would have meant they would have finished higher. Maybe. What are you gonna say?
Oh, 100%.
Let's hit the private chat.
Do you know what? I feel like Nkunku could bang in at least 23 goals next season.
Oh, I agree. I think he gets.
But in all competition, I think it could be 32.
Let me pull this up right here.
That's not new information. That's not new information.
That's not new info.
Chelsea prepared to approach Bologna, offering players like for Calafiori a different type of strategy. Meanwhile, Arsenal are ahead because they presented their project and have offered long-term deal. I don't long-term deal though.
In the morning.
That was the same
Long
thing
term.
that they said this morning.
Yeah, but like, why would Arsenal be ahead because they presented?
Basically, what he's saying is that Arsenal
hold on.
have been.
And I get that, but like, baby, we only do long-term deals, so this doesn't make sense to me to a certain extent.
He said Arsenal have taken the step. No, Arsenal. Fabrizio is saying Arsenal is taking the step to offer him a deal, and at the same time, obviously, what's it called? To the player. So they're basically speaking to the player before we've even speaking to him. Whereas we are trying to get a deal done with Bologna first before speaking to the player.
Listen, man. Long-term deal, though.
Clearly,
we
did not learn anything, and clearly we did not learn anything. Excuse me, clearly did not learn anything with regards to Rafinha.
What?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
What did we do with Rafinha? We agreed was a deal with Leeds, and then we tried to negotiate the player, and then we still haven't.
That's not what's happening right now.
I'm just saying, man. Let's make sure we actually get the deal done.
See, this is what I mean. You're creating hysteria in your own head, bro. You literally create hysteria in your own head. I swear to God, bro.
I love it. Ahmed loves to sensationalize shit. I will admit.
He's
not
literally
the first time.
creating hysteria in his head.
What can I say, man? I'm a YouTube creator, man. I'm a YouTube creator, man. You know what I mean?
You
know what I mean?
That's,
You go for a frenzy.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's not a prerequisite of being.
You know what I mean?
We got most of Kim in here to prove you wrong, bro. We got.
Listen, I'm here, Brisson. I'm here.
Direct source.
You know what I mean?
No.
I'm here to make the masses crazy. I'm here to get the masses crazy. You know what I mean? I'm here to get the bridges crazy, man. You know what I mean? We got to 258.
The bridgers. He keeps touching the bridgers.
The thing is, I don't have much knowledge about a lot of player right now because I'm not that fan of a football before.
No, I was just bantering, man. I was just bantering.
Yeah. And also, I asked another thing to my uncle about why did they fire Poch? I mean, did it really a mutual separation?
Did you say Potter or Poch?
Poch. Is it a mutual or they're fired? Then he said, actually, before they hired the Poch, they had an agreement that they will give him another year. And another reason they didn't fire him in between the season is because they feel that the thing that happened with the Potter, that when you hire a manager in between the season, it's not easy to improve the situation at that time. So they wanted to wait till the end. And also, if they fired him in the middle of the season, it would have been a big deal in the media. And that negative impact on the Chelsea's image. That's why they wait until the end of the season, and they made it so that they didn't fire him, and also he didn't walk away. It's a mutual thing. But actually, they fired him because if you look at the compensation, he got the full compensation actually. If you guys know.
I didn't know that last part. I didn't know he got fully compensated.
I mean, it was only a year, so I don't see why.
It was a 2-year contract, so but that's the thing. Like, when he got sacked, though, I wasn't even like that upset about it because I knew he wasn't the long-term answer. I think we all talked about this on CP. Do you remember? We did talk about that, right? He was never even the long-term choice.
Marshall, I had a question for you though.
What's up?
I might have missed out on this. Why did he give this transfer window like a 3 or whatever it is?
Who? Ahmed?
No, you. I think you gave a 3 or something around a lower score.
I said 4 out of 10 because I'm not very impressed with the okay, let's look at this a little bit at a time.
Well, I got a 4 out of 10 because they haven't gotten all the targets yet. So until they get all their targets, then I'm like,
this is also like, temporary. Like it's a temporary number because the window's not done yet. It could always change. But like, I really wanted Olise, and we haven't gotten an Elise. Chances are of us getting another keeper, which, to be honest, and you guys might think I'm crazy for this take, I genuinely want to see what happens with Robert Sanchez on the Maresca. Like, I don't think this guy is nearly as and we talked about this too on the show. I don't think this guy is nearly as shit as people like to claim he is. I think people just, the bad moments stick out like a sore thumb in the highlight reel in their heads. I don't think he's the guy like to take us the long term. Like, I don't think he's like, I think Mamardashvili is better. I think Diogo Costa is better, but time will tell. But also the fact that we're not linked with another keeper does kind of upset me. So that's another factor, CP.
I think that keeper situation we should have a conversation about. So after you're done, I want to have a conversation.
100%. Like, that's definitely something we need to discuss because it's not been talked about enough. I think the other factor for me in my decision out of 4 out of 10 is also that we're just not closing deals ideally in the way that I want to, which, you know, we discussed this already, Curry, like about how we need a negotiator in that room. That's not Win Stanley and Lawrence Stewart. That's a factor. I didn't like that we got that Ian Maatson went, but that was always going to be his choice, not, you know, in a release clause. So that's the thing that I didn't want him to go because the left back situation, as of right now, the left back situation has not been solved. I don't know if it's going to get solved.
Well,
there's also with Cucurella.
Well, yeah, the perfect signing for Maatson. I'm sorry, Maatson right now is not going to fit that system, right?
No, I get that. And you know I like Cucurella. You know I like Cucurella. But if Cucurella gets hurt, who's your backup?
Now, the other thing that I do want to speak about, the other thing I do want to say, like, just to a point, is even right now, Bayern isn't even negotiating that well. Like, yeah, they supposedly got
They still haven't,
but they still haven't even.
Yeah,
it's been
that's right.
2 weeks.
They haven't closed on Elise yet. It hasn't been official.
2 weeks and they haven't gotten it closed.
You know how we thought we messed up last season. 30 million. Apparently,
are we gonna come back for Elise, boys?
No, it's not that.
I'm just kidding.
You bid 47 million to talk to him to get it official, and then you have to pay more money after that, which is
it's kind of crazy.
It's not even us that thinks it's complicated. Even Bayern's finding their release clause complicated.
Yep.
So I can't even fault it now. I can't even fault these.
It's taken them 2 weeks just to get this over the line, and it's still not done. So, like, how are we faulting our guys for not getting that deal over the line? You know what I'm saying? When that deal is as complicated as it is.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fair assessment of
like
that. And you know what? I should cut him more slack.
They haven't done a medical yet.
Slack on that.
They haven't done a medical yet, CP.
Exactly.
They haven't even done a medical yet.
No medical.
But now also that, like, you know, most of Kim came in and gave a different perspective on things. Like, it does clear up a lot of why Elise didn't get done. But I personally just really want Elise. Listen, down the line, Esteval could be a lot better than Elise, and then I will forget we were even in for Elise. But that's something that time will tell.
What do we have someone better than Elise?
That's what I'm saying.
Cole Palmer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Maresca's the one.
Go.
I want to say one thing about Elise. About Michael Elise. Actually, I've seen his games when he used to play for Crystal Palace, and to be fair, that guy has a very bad injury record. So I would say it's a good thing that you didn't, get him, because he would the disadvantage is he will get an ACL injury. He'll be out for I don't know how many weeks, and then you have to end up finding another suitable replacement. So, yeah,
I mean,
would say
we don't. That's the thing. We don't, AK, because we have Cole Palmer. We don't even need a replacement for Cole Palmer.
It is one of those. It was like an opportunity signing. Like, if I had to be real, it really was an opportunity signing. But I like him a lot. That's why.
The thing is, Palmer even said in an interview after Pogs left, he's bummed, but that he's happy with Maresca. And you know who's the one who made Palmer a right wing? Maresca. From a 10, he was a 10, made him a right winger. So when everyone's that even makes more sense why we got Dewsbury Hall, because Maresca views him as a right winger.
Exactly.
From the get-go, from youth level. So it was never in the plans that Dewsbury Hall was gonna. So it was never in the plans of Dewsbury that Palmer, in his mind, was gonna be a 10/8 that Dewsbury Hall plays, because in his head it's like, he's a right winger to me. I'm the one who converted him to a right winger. I'm literally the youth coach who converted.
I do believe. Here's my hot take. I do believe if we go sign a striker, Nico Jackson's our starting left wing. I'm putting that out there right now. If we sign a striker, Nico Jackson's coming out.
I agree. I agree.
Also, Curry, just before you continue, like that was going to be the last thing I was going to say is the fact that we still haven't closed in on a starting striker. Not that I don't believe in Jackson. I think Jackson will become that starting striker either next season or the season after. But I mean, don't fucking look at me like that, bro.
I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Here's the thing: is I think his one-on-one take-on ability is probably one of his better attributes that he has. Like his take-ons is probably one of the better attributes that he has.
The finishing.
It's the finishing for me. So like for me, like I can see them converting, like Mr. Ahmed said, I could see them converting Nkunku into that Gabriel Jesus type of striker. Except Nkunku can finish. That's the difference. Nkunku can actually finish. And he's been that kind of striker for Leipzig before. So that's kind of my thought process.
And Marshall, to add on to this, because I know Ahmed knows this because he's on Alex Goldberg's streams. I see him on the chat. He knows this, that yesterday. It's not a diss. I'm saying he knows his comment.
No, I'm there too.
No, I'm saying we heard at the same time. Yesterday, there was a report that we're looking for a left winger who's more like a left forward who can carry the ball. And guess who does that in the team already? Jackson. That's what it proves Joey's point even more.
Yeah, I can see Joey's point being right. I can see Joey's point. Before, because I do want to go into the topic of goalkeeper because it's been overlooked so frequently. But before we do, Arthur, my man, welcome to the show. I do want to give you an opportunity to, have a say in the show. And I mean, what are your thoughts on everything we discuss, or what are you thinking about that you want to come out here and say, really? Also, I like your N'Golo Kante profile picture. Big up N'Golo Kante, best midfielder of the tournament so far, up there with Fabian Ruiz. But we continue.
Hey man, the greatest there ever was. But yeah, I've only just came in here for like the last 40 minutes, so I haven't heard everything that you guys talking about. So
we've been talking about a lot of things, man. We're just talking. Yeah. We're here talking Chelsea, pretty much.
But the thing that's on my mind currently is, of course, we know that Maresca does like to play with the touchline wingers, and I want to know your guys' perspectives, because do you think he could possibly change that up? Because a lot of the people that now understand that Maresca sees Palmer as a touchline winger think that isn't going to get the best out of him, even though he has coached him in the youth level. So he does have experience with him. And Nkunku on the left would probably be better tucking in more into the midfield. So I just want to hear your guys' perspectives.
I think it's more likely that Jackson goes over to the left than Nkunku goes over to the left. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
Right.
That's the only thing outside of what you said that I would disagree with. Outside, I love your point on Palmer on how he's going to be able to play like right wing. I love that point.
I just want everyone to know also that Marshall does have a Jackson agenda.
No,
if you check Discord, just check Discord, man. Check Discord personally. Just check Discord. The analysis is there. We all know what your name on Discord is. Thank you very much.
Anti-Fromid Support Club. That's what my name in Discord is right now.
You was also known.
We are out here fighting the streets of anti-Fromid agenda.
You're also called Nicholas Touchy Jackson.
Yes, because what was the one thing he would do every single time he was in front of the fucking post? Touch the ball an extra time instead of goddamn kick the freaking ball towards the net, and it pissed me the fuck off. Like it would piss off anyone who wants a striker to be a good striker.
Listen, this is the guy, Jackson, that you gotta watch. Yeah, if you ever, I hope one day in a Chelsea interview, like a first-man interview, when he scores a hat trick, he says, "I want to talk to my hater Marshall." Yeah, and remember, you called him touchy,
bro. That'd be insane. No, at that point, I'd be like, okay, never mind, fair play. That's crazy. But no, onto the point where like Arthur was asking with the touchline wingers. I mean, I think in an ideal world, depending on what happens, because we still have until the end of August, right? I think in an ideal world, we sign a touchline left winger, a winger that can play like that, because we don't know what's happening with Mudryk, to be honest. Like Mudryk, as of right now, it seems like he's staying, but his future seems a little bleak in the sense of like, bro, is this guy actually going to come good or not? Raheem Sterling,
he's a bum.
He's another one that's like
Raheem Shillings.
I can see Maresca like him in though.
That's the thing. I could see Maresca liking him, but at the same time too, with Raheem, it's like, okay, first season when he came here with Tuchel was still here, Raheem actually looked really good, and then Potter happened, and then now we have Pochettino. Despite the bad season, he was our best left attacking player in terms of GNA. It's just Raheem confuses me, because part of me wants to believe that maybe Enzo Maresca can actually make this guy work,
get the best out of him,
get the best out of him. But the other part of me still understands this is Raheem fucking Sterling. This is the same Raheem Sterling that pissed me off when I used to see him at Man City, and how much he used to. He was the epitome of touchy. This guy touched the ball for days. Ayo. But it's
Sterling, you can see, man.
No, I'm not trying to glaze him. I'm just being honest about him.
He's giving that go out 3,000, bro. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Yo. But it's, I don't know, man. I feel like there is a player in Sterling, but someone's got to knock the sense out of him. Like, I don't know if it's because he didn't trust the team or this is Raheem Sterling. Like, he's just confusing to me. So I could see us still going out in the market and signing a left winger, because that's what they're saying, right? We're still looking for a left-sided attacker or an attacker with a right foot, which to me means a left winger that can cut inside.
Yeah.
Or cut back, rather.
I mean, look, the thing with Sterling is I think he needs a manager to like completely coach him and tell him exactly what to do, because
he needs a system, you would say?
Maybe. No comment, but maybe. But we saw the best out of him in Pep's system, where he was told what to do. He would make those, back post runs. He would arrive late. But lately, with Potter, with Poch, like everything was completely free flow, it seems like. So I think that's why I'm holding out a bit of hope for Sterling. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
guess that's where I'm
same
at.
way too. Mudryk's the same way too. That's why I believe. That's why I'm kind of holding hope that we go get a striker, and then we can just play either one of those three at left wing and get something serviceable out of him.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to Jackson going to left wing. I think that is probably his best position in terms of where he's at right now. But then who's going to play striker? Like, do we really want Nkunku to play striker? Is it going to be Gui? You know, like,
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I think for the left wing, I would bring Eze.
We're not even linked with Eze though. I don't think it's going to happen.
Would he really work in the system though?
No,
he wouldn't.
I don't think so. Doesn't Eze like to cut inside too? That's another thing. Like, he likes to really play from. He's almost like a cam. Like a left winger that likes to go into the cam.
I'm more prone to holding up on the left wing until next year. I wouldn't mind Desiree Doué if you can get Desiree Doué. Like, if you can go and get him, then I'd be all right. But he's trying to like, he's going for like 40-50 million himself.
Yeah.
The thing is, Joey, I know you like this one, but Tyree George was said to be with the squad like for preseason, so maybe Maresca likes him and he can get in there on the left wing. I would like to see that, because I think he's good, personally.
Yep. Let's see how he does. He's a youngster that definitely needs a chance in this team this year.
He did just sign a new contract, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, who knows?
I love Tyreek George. I think he's such a baller. Kid's such a baller. But he's just a kid once again. We're talking about a kid. But a left wing is his position. He's quite tall for his age.
I don't think you mean it this way, Joey, but I did want to touch on this earlier, right? I feel like, everyone's worried about these players being so young and so on and so forth. And obviously, I do get it from a perspective of the hype and not living up to the hype. But from an experience level, or how they're going to impact the team level, or just a team from a team level, right? I'm not so concerned with the age of a player as much as I am with how they're going to be on the pitch. Because there's
right, but here's the thing: there's certain players that you can say that for because you've seen them against first team opposition. Where like a guy like Tyreek George, you've only seen him play like U21 ball. Like that's the only time you've ever seen him play.
I get that, but like,
so that's a little bit different. Where like I have faith that Paez and Esteval are going to be good players because I've seen them against first team opposition.
Okay,
I just haven't seen that from Tyreek George yet. That's why I'm more willing to. That's why I'm more hesitant to say he's going to be like really, really good.
But even with that notion, right? Like, I'm not worried. Like, my mindset is that I feel like the game is getting younger and younger. Like the average age of teams, I feel like is going towards younger. Like I'm not worried.
There's no doubt about it.
That's just how I feel. You know where I'm coming from? Like, I think some of these younger players can come to the team and perform and be world class. Like, look at Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams. Like,
no,
they're
I
not
don't.
in their prime.
I don't doubt it whatsoever. To be honest, I just say I there has to be a sprinkle of experience, like an experience in there, like a sprinkle of it. And that experience has to show up. Like, unfortunately, Sterling doesn't show up. So it's like, like that's kind of like the thing with this whole entire team at this current moment. I like the signings of Tosin and KDH because they're both 25. Yeah, we got them both of them for 30 million total, and have played in the Premier League. Like that's it. They played in the Premier League. It's not like we're looking at players who haven't played in the Premier League before. I think that this is a team that's just waiting for some direction.
But even then, like with the sprinkle of experience, like whether you like him or not, you can throw in Chilwell in that conversation. I
don't know how long we'll have Chilwell.
Well, yeah, that's true, right? But like, that's just in a hypothetical, right? Like, we can throw Chilwell in that conversation. We can throw Marco Corella in that conversation. To a certain extent, if he's available as well, you can throw Wesley Fofana in that conversation, Reece James. So there is actually, now that I think about it, now with the signing of KDH and Tosin, there is a decent amount of experience in that team. So next season, I really don't want to hear this whole, there's no experience. These are young players and all that stuff. They can only be so young. They can only be so young for so long. Like Enzo's not a young player anymore. Like Caicedo's not a young player anymore either. Like they have very key roles in their national teams as well.
And Poch was like, they're young guys, but we don't have experienced players. They don't have the quality.
Fucking fraud.
Well, the players do not have quality. They're not experience.
I think that everybody has another year under their belt with experience too. Like this team's just gonna grow with its own experience. So you don't have to continue to add it either.
Yeah.
That's kind of why you can start to go buy younger because your overall core of your squad is pretty much there already. You're just filling in a few more pieces at this current moment, and like. Realistically, they only have two pieces left. Like it's the left back and the striker because they don't know that they have to get rid of the goalkeeper yet. Which I do want to bring. That was something that I did want.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to go into the next. I was actually going to ask you because there are links and I'm seeing it. Well, not links to Chelsea, but it's there. Would you go for Ederson?
No.
Why not?
Yes.
I agree with you. By the way. I agree with you.
I say yes because I would say yes because of this quality, but no because of like what it's going to cost to get him at this current moment. Because like he's going for the Saudi bag. Like we're not going to pay him the Saudi bag. Like that's just like that's the reason I'm saying no. Because what it's going to cost to actually get him off of City and what it's going to cost in wages, just to even like keep him in the Premier League is going to be ridiculous, bro.
That guy would want at least say 300 something bags a week.
300+.
Yeah, definitely Saudi, bro. Definitely Saudi. Definitely he's going there.
And it's not because of the quality. I'd take him for the quality, but I just know it's not going to cut. Like I'd rather take a chance on Diego Costa because it's going to cost roughly around the same amount of bread.
Bro, I don't know, but I mean, Diego Costa, sure.
It's going to cost around the same bread, bro.
I'm leaning towards Marshalldbdx now. After the tournament he's had,
I mean,
and the links that we've had previously.
All right, so here's the thing, right? I think Enzo Maresca is a smart enough coach to see after like one of our games in the preseason. Let's just say when we play City in preseason, because we do have a game against City in preseason. Let's just say after the game against City in preseason, he'll see what he has in Sanchez by then. Like he'll see himself. So like because like last year we did the same thing, and then we ended up bringing a keeper in. We said, we're going to keep Kepa, and Kepa ended up not staying, and we ended up bringing a keeper in. So like I'm not totally sold that they're going to keep this guy. Like I'm not really totally sold that they're going to start Sanchez. But also at the same time, no one's been going for Marshalldbdx, even though they need the money and they already have their replacement. Like Valencia already have their replacement for Marshalldbdx. He's like a 35 to $40 million player. Like the only problem is I think Maresca wants more of a ball playing goalkeeper.
Do you let me ask you this. Do you think there's an over obsession with the ball playing goalkeeper nowadays?
Yes.
Okay, because I agree. I think there's an over obsession with this. Like I understand why, because especially in Maresca, right? Like Maresca wants possession style of play. Talk to me.
If I may step in here, and give some real minerals just quickly. I feel like the reality of the situation is the relative situation is in this day and age that we're in, this is the new norm. It's a new norm. Like we can say it's an oversaturation or not, but if you look at all these guys, all the best systems, they all require ball playing goalkeepers, pretty much.
Yeah, but Alisson, right? Like, because Ederson's not a good example because he is actually a ball playing goalkeeper.
Exactly.
But Alisson's not. Okay? Alisson's not a ball playing goalkeeper, but he's still one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he can still get away with ball playing. You see what I'm saying, Ahmed? That's, in my opinion, it's more important for me to have a secure keeper than somebody who can just be able to kick the ball around. I'm sorry. Like,
I've always been the same way.
Like, I'd rather have Petr Cech than anybody else. Thibaut Courtois.
Yes.
Thibaut Courtois. He's not a ball-playing goalkeeper. He's a shot stopper. Give me the shot stopper. He's still young enough to teach him how to ball play. With the thing with Diego Costa is optimistic. He's $75 million. So I don't know if City are just gonna just pay the release clause and pay the entire $75 million, and that'll be their marquee signing for the summer, or they're gonna go stick with what's the guy's name? AK, who's your backup keeper?
Ortega.
Okay.
At the moment, Stefan Ortega.
I want to say that.
Ortega's gonna is Ortega gonna be your number one then? Do you expect him to be your number one, or do you expect another keeper to come in to be your number one?
I mean, definitely now that Stefan Ortega has renewed his contract with us, so yeah, he's gonna be a number one. He's gonna be a number one, and now I think the backup keepers. The backup keepers you're going to get are either Mike Maignan or Diego Costa.
So Diego Costa is going to be your backup keeper?
That won't run.
I don't know if
of course it won't run, bro. Of course it won't run, but I'm saying, we have two options. Either Mike Maignan or Diego Costa. Two options we have.
I think you guys end up with Costa, bro. I'm going to be honest, Optimist. I think it doesn't matter. I think they end up with Costa regardless if we want to go for him or not. Let's be real, bro. That's that's another team that's just bigger than us at this current moment.
And it's City at the end of the day. They'll go forever.
I know, isn't that crazy? There's no way Diego Costa is gonna accept being a backup. I don't know about that, but
but the issue is, bro. The issue is, man.
He's not on a ton of wages. He's like I checked earlier. I think he's on like 35,000, something like that. We checked on my stream yesterday, Ator. You were there.
Yeah.
I think you were there with Lewis. Lewis came on at the end of the day.
Oh, no, I couldn't make it yesterday. My bad.
No, you're good. I had mad people on yet last night. I had like 50, 60 people.
What were you gonna say?
I would just say, man, at the end of the day, Chelsea need to realize, bro, you either gonna have to pay up or shut up. You know what I mean? You've had that before.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't want to pay up for Diego Costa, to be honest.
No, but the point I'm trying to make, if you want these guys, you just gotta realize, man, it's only one of those two options. There's not really a third option necessarily, unless like your manager Jurgen Klopp.
We not beating City and Real Madrid to that guy. I'm telling you that right now.
I mean, that is true. We're not gonna, but at the same
We're
time,
not going
though, like
that's just a big no.
Going back to like this talk about, you know, the ball playing goalkeeper. Like I personally think like it's so overblown. But the other thing is too, like, even if we didn't have one, like just a goalkeeper that can ping the ball up in the air, whatever. I don't think we have the players necessarily that can, you know, control the ball in the air, or a striker per se, even that can just like I hate to fucking say this example, like a Romelu Lukaku kind of player that can just stand there and actually pick the ball that the goalkeeper, you know, sends that way, like someone that can actually keep the possession. Because I think that's the thing. Enzo Maresca, I think, is going to be obsessed with keeping possession as much as he can. And he doesn't want the goalkeeper to constantly just send the ball and make it a 50-50 all the time, when we could just pass it and have the ball. The thing is, though, I do want to see what Enzo does with Sanchez. And I don't know what your thought. Does anyone here think that the Sanchez thing is overblown with him being the number one? Or are people actually shitting themselves with him being number one?
I think if you have a better defensive system, he can be serviceable. Still be able to serviceable is the best way I can put it. But I still think Petrovic is better, even with his kicking ability.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Sanchez's kicking ability is overblown. Totally.
I think that too. I do agree with
disgusting.
that.
Yeah, true.
I agree with Joey. I think it will take just one game. And if not, he might be doing Project Arteta. Save a hole. Maybe. I don't know, bro.
I mean, Sanchez's kicking ball is worse than Kepa's.
That's why, like, I would rather just go get Marbadashvili and just be like, fuck it. Teach him how to kick the ball around. Like,
yeah.
He's still young. He's 20.
All right, yeah, we'll catch you soon.
Oblak.
Dude.
Oblak's like 90 million, bro.
Oblak.
Yeah, man. I know he's quality though. Yeah, he's quality with that price. Yeah, I mean, obviously he needs
Marbadashvili is the new Oblak, bro. What are we doing here? He is the new Oblak.
I mean, listen, let's be real.
That's what it is.
Everyone's been saying this about John Oblak, and no one's actually gone for him.
There's a reason.
Man United chose. Yeah, Man United chose Onana over him. Just.
That's crazy.
Peep that. You know. just when you think about it, like let's actually think about it. Like if he was, you know, realistically available as an option.
He was cheaper. Onana was cheaper than Oblak.
Not by much though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's still cheaper though.
Yeah,
but not gonna lie, Marbadashvili, yeah, I mean, he's a solid keeper, bro. Not gonna lie, he's solid.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm okay with Marbadashvili. Now that I've seen him, especially, like, and we were linked, and they like it's these moments that, like, I go back and I look at Win Stanley and Lawrence Stewart, and I'm like, motherfuckers actually scouted this guy, and they were right. Like, this guy is the guy. God damn. single-handedly kept the nation in the tournament, pretty much. Like, this guy was like a wall. It was just unstoppable.
What, for Georgia?
Yeah. Dude, this guy was making crazy saves.
Bro,
Absolutely
he's been
crazy
doing
saves.
it all year, bro. I've been saying I wanted this guy since last year when we were when we were trying to get a goalkeeper. I've been wanting this guy. Like, the fact of the matter is he's 30. Valencia has already sold their has literally already sold, have already got the replacement for him. They're like ready to sell the guy. Like, are we smart enough to get one of the best young shot stoppers in the world right now? Because you do, you're set for 10 years. That's it.
I agree.
Who gives a shit if he can kick the ball around? He's one of the best shot stoppers in the world. You're good for 10 years. He's 24 years old. By 34, you're still playing at a high level at 34. You know what I'm saying? You're good for a solid 10 years once you get a keeper. It's like, what did they do with Ederson? How long has Ederson been there, AK? 8 years? Like,
yeah, 8 years. 8 years.
Like how much, and he's 31. You sell him to Saudi for 60 plus million in the end? Like, you got your money back and some. You got your worth and you got your money back in the end.
Smart business, bro.
Do with these keepers. That's what you do with these keepers. You go and you get one that's around this price. He's literally the best young shot stopper in the entire world right now. Like, just go and get this guy. Like, I've been like, I could care less what you do outside. If you go and get me that guy, if you go and get me the keeper, I'm calm, bro. I'm calm.
Definitely puts the rating of the window higher up,
it
for sure.
instantly goes to a 7 or an 8 from me.
Yep.
Instantly. I don't even care about the striker. That's if you go and get me a keeper, I don't even care about the striker. I've been the one like begging for them to go get Victor. I've been the one sitting here and saying, go get Victor. But if you go get a keeper, all is in the world is good. Anyways, I gotta go.
We're about to wrap up anyways. Big up Joey for coming on. And big up everyone else too for coming on. But like, one thing I do want to mention before we wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, from this day, we are 3 weeks away from Chelsea's first preseason game against Wrexham. That, I think what Joey said too about Sanchez and all of them, that is going to be a big determining factor as to how we're going to go forward with this team.
That's going to be a 7-0 win to Chelsea.
I don't care how we win it.
Yeah.
I want to see who. I obviously take preseason with a bit of a pinch of salt based on what the hell happened last season with Poch. But I think that's a little bit of an outlier because it's Poch, right? But I think this preseason, it's going to be huge as to determining the future of some of these players.
We do have big games as well.
Determining how we move forward in the transfer window as well. So let's count down the days because it's coming close now. I think some of these players have already returned for preseason, so they're going to be training. We're going to hear the Enzo Maresca playoffs isn't until later though. We're going to hear the Enzo Maresca interviews and stuff. We're going to get more of an idea. There's going to be a lot more news coming as well and more analysis, and we're going to see what happens with this team.
Yeah,
I think all of us here are very curious as to what's going to happen because this was a manager. Oh my God. This is a manager that no one knew about. No one really, believes in for the most part. So we'll see. Time will tell. Like the ownership took a really huge risk with this one. So I want to see it in action. And I always said it. I'm going to be excited for this one.
If this goes wrong, directors need to go.
We'll see. But yeah, ladies and gents,
for strikers, Chelsea, you know what to do. Whip out Tammy Abraham. Simple.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What the fuck?
What's wrong with this guy, man?
Anyways, So ladies and gents, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining us on the call-in show. Big up to everyone that joined in today. As always, guys, we'll be back with the Casually Chelsea show come Sunday. We'll be talking about all the news, probably more about the Calafiori things once it's more solidified, and so on and so forth. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. We'll be there, but be sure to check out the links in the description below for more content. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, as we are on our way to 3K. We're very close, so we need you guys' help to get us closer to that. If you haven't done so already, also almost 75 of you guys are watching. Let's get more likes on this video. So smash up those likes, help the channel grow, help with the algorithm.
Stop moving like a Southgate.
What are you doing, guys?
Stop moving like a Southgate in Euros.
Exactly. Also hit the bell notifications so you're notified whenever we do go live. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed. What do you think about the transfer window so far, the players we've acquired, the strategy going forward, some of the facts that were dropped today, which is insane. In the different perspectives, which is why I like to have this show. And then lastly, be sure to check out the memberships, because we have 4 different memberships starting at 99p. Big up to some of our new members today that joined in. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think Maldini re-signed up, and then there was another one that re-signed up as well. My apologies, guys, if I can't go back that far. Actually, yes, I can. So Murad, thank you so much for signing up to be a casual, and Danish Maldini, thank you for re-signing up for 9 months too. 3 months away from being a year into the membership. So shout out to our proper casual and higher tiered members as well. And that's going to go out to EE, Hassan Nuwaz, Uncle Gesture FC, Will, Dark, Scott, Soliman, as well as Adrian. You guys are proper Chels, as some of you, well, you're proper casuals actually, and you're proper Chels. So big up to you guys. We're gonna go ahead and raid Ahmed over on his channel, The Bridge 258. He's gonna be talking about Calafiori more in depth for those of you who are looking to talk about Calafiori and all that stuff. And I'm gonna go take a nap or something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So, actually, I'm gonna watch Copa America probably. So yeah, big up to everyone. Check out the other stuff that I talked about. I'm losing track of my thoughts now. Copy and paste that red message. Let Ahmed know where you're coming from. We'll see you again on Sunday for the Casually Chelsea show. And as always, have a good night, guys. Stay casual.
Maresca, let's go.